name is William John Lewis. I'm 22 years old.
What's your major?
I'm a photography major.
And why are you a photography major?
Why is, I don't know. I've been into art since, like anybody else, since first grade. I got into an art talent program when I was in second grade, and that was paid for, which was cool. So I did art pretty much all my life. Then my freshman year of high school, I was mostly I was mostly into drawing and sculpture. But in my freshman year of high school, I took a first, I guess, photo class, which was all wet room, with like film and everything. I thought it was really cool. I got really good at the medium, and I knew exactly that's what I wanted to do when I got out of high school, basically.
And do you have any favorite photographers at all?
Favorite photographers, I guess the number one favorite photographer for me right now is, well, I got a couple of them now since then. Richard Avedon is one of my biggest favorite photographers, biggest influence. James might be like murdering his last name, but it's Natchewik. I don't know how to spell it, but he's one of the world photographers. He's a document photographer, amazing photographer. Jill Greenberg, she's a commercial photographer out of LA. Larry Clark is a new photographer that I got into. I don't know if you've seen Kids.
Oh yeah.
Well, he was a photographer. Then he started doing films like that.
Ah, okay.
He did Kids. He did Bully. He did his first book was called Kosha or something like that. It was a really cool book. It's about just the drugs and violence that was going on during the Vietnam War, and he was the first photographer to expose America to images like that. It was more like, you didn't talk about it kind of stuff that he did. So stuff like that really intrigues me. Controversial fashion, illustration photography, I guess.
What are you working on right now?
Right now I'm working to get my trying to get a lot of work done for this semester. Right now I don't know, I've been having an extremely hard semester, thinking of work to do, and I really got into this project that our teacher kind of told us to solve, and it's called defined confinement, or confined space. So for a while I was shooting locked myself in like in small closets, and I started shooting everything. I think I shot about like 400 images of the same thing, but then I looked it up. I didn't think that's how it's defining confined space until I looked it up in the dictionary. And it's pretty broad, and it talks about confinement of people, putting somebody in a small place. So what I did was I kind of double layered that meaning of confinement. I kind of used it as I'm confining somebody, and I took the characteristic of a bag and put a person in it and confined it. I confined them in that plastic bag. Then I decided to stuff them into a smaller area to give them the extra confinement, so you're looking into layers. For this one, I confined one of my friends into a refrigerator. My refrigerator is really small, so I decided to shove somebody in there. The plastic bag became, the images became a little bit more of a murder kind of thing, which I didn't expect. So I kind of went with that idea, and I started playing with the bags. So I started shoving people in a plastic bag and kind of putting them in places where you expect to find a body. Today I was over at a farm where there's just like piles of junk that they kept that don't touch. So I shove somebody in a plastic bag, kind of lose them in there. The whole idea is for you to settle your way in and just kind of come up to the person like, oh shit, there's a person in that bag. So it's kind of like giving it more of a murder kind of feel to it, but not like with blood and gore, but doing it with light, doing it with the mood. I've been coming to Maya I started doing the pre-college my junior year of high school. One of my friends told me about it. and I did the 3 week period pre-college. It was the photography majors, which was 3 weeks. There's a 2 weeks, and I did the 3 weeks. Fell in love with the building. I thought the program here was great. I mean, of course, from high school, any art program is greater than yours. Then I started taking winter course during the weekends, and I did fall, spring, and winter classes just to develop the portfolio. I looked at other colleges out of state. I looked at the Museum of Fine Arts in Boston. I looked at Chicago Institute. Looked at Brooks University of Photography in Santa Barbara. Savannah, Georgia was one of them I looked. AI, I don't know what institute that is, but it's a really crappy art school, I heard. And I was gonna go was narrow down. I got into all the colleges I needed that I applied for. It was between Myatt and Brooks University of Photography, which is all photography based. In reality, they're about the same in price, but Myatt gave me a really nice amount of money to come here, and I looked at the scholarship. Then I looked at how much it would cost me to live in California. I mean, I'm from California. I know how expensive it is there, and it would have been nice to go back home. But the thing is, Maya gave me a lot more money to be here, and it kind of helped me with with loans and stuff. So I didn't have to take that many loans. So, I was really comfortable with my ed person. You know, I've been in my ed. I know exactly what it's all about. The programs are cool. You know, so, and I didn't really experience or visit Brooks, so I decided to come here, and. My ed sucks you in. It really does. I mean, I was gonna leave my sophomore year. I said, you know, enough's enough. You know, I'm not learning what I need to learn. But then, I called Brooks. I'm like, you know what? I'll be there for your spring program. I was ready to leave my sophomore year. But then the more that my sophomore year kind of went on, my ed kind of grows on you, because I feel that my ed it challenges you as an artist, and it kind of makes you think about what means to be an artist, and it kind of creates an artist out of you, because they're really all about you. They're not about what's hot out in the industry of art, what's selling. They're more about what you like to do as an artist. So it was more about me than I was thinking about Brooks, which is like journalism photography, commercial photography, video photography, not video, like illustrations, a lot of mediums of photography, which was impressive. But at the same time, I'm thinking, I'm such a fine art photographer, I don't want to lose the other side of that. And my ed is really good at conceptually you have to think about what your work means. And it just kind of gives you that fine base, like creating an artist, not a product, I guess. Now that I think about it, that's probably the nicest thing I said about my ed. That it actually builds an artist instead of, makes a copy of what's good out there, That's one thing I like about it. Yeah, I mean, that's the reason why I'm here, I guess, because, they're all about you creating artists and making people think, which is extremely amazing.